Hey guys, welcome back to eVivid Artistry. My name is Emily Artith, and today I wanted to do a review on the iconic Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 eyeshadow palette. I already own the first palette she did with Morphe, and it is a very, very lovely palette. I find myself using her first palette a lot more than I thought I would. I use it a lot on my clients, especially on brides, and once I heard that she was coming out with a second palette and I saw the colors, I immediately fell in love. So I'm very, very excited to be reviewing this for you guys today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So before we really get into it, I wanted to start off by saying I apologize if you hear any crazy or loud noises or any bumps in the background. People are home today and I'm just trying to film a tutorial around all of that craziness. So again, I apologize if you hear anything. It's not a ghost, it's just people. So this palette has been out for almost a full year now, if not a full year by this time. You guys have seen all of the colors and all of the swatches already, so I don't want to bore you with that. So I wanted to really focus on the eyeshadows and how they apply on the eye. So let's go ahead and get to the unboxing. So it comes in this nice packaging. So I haven't bought a lot of Morphe eyeshadow palettes. I've only bought the palettes that Jaclyn Hill has collaborated with Morphe. So I don't know if they do this to all of their packaging, but there is bubble wrap surrounding the palette, so we're just gonna pull that out really quick. I like that they do this. I feel like it protects the palette from any external damage, so it lessens the chance of the eyeshadows breaking. And there she is. Very nice, very shiny, very white. I will say this, and it was a pet peeve of mine with the first palette, and it's probably going to be my same pet peeve with this palette. Let me actually get the other one and show you. So with the first eyeshadow palette that she did, I actually have it right next to me right now. I'm very embarrassed to show it, but it's a humongous pet peeve of mine, especially for those of us who do a lot of freelance makeup artistry and we're not just using it in our own homes all the time. Things happen, things get dirty, but I swear I have tried to wipe this stuff off for a very, very long time, but it's not working. That is how dirty my first Jaclyn Hill palette has gotten in the front and in the back. I appreciate the packaging for the second one already a whole lot more. It feels more luxurious than the first one. Even though the packaging for the first one was not my favorite, the eyeshadow quality spoke for itself. It's very, very good. I love the blending of it, so I expect the same amount of quality, if not better, from this palette. All right, so let's just go ahead and open her up and see how these beautiful colors look on camera. I'm such a fan of this color story. Honestly, I'm very, very excited to get into this palette right now. I love how she laid everything out too. All of the more natural shades are on the top row, so those are going to be the ones that you reach for the most, obviously. Then she has her more warmer, yellowy, orangey, red tones, and then she has all of her purples, pinks, and berries on the bottom. I'm very obsessed with how this whole palette is laid out. To me, this looks very visually satisfying. It honestly gives me a lot of inspiration of so many looks that I can do with this. I can see myself doing so many different looks with this, and I hope you guys can too. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on more of the bottom because I'm really drawn toward the pinks and the berries. I know pinks and berries are my life and I love to live there, but I just really, really want to see in this palette how they look. I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera now and do my eyebrows and prep my eyelids for the eyeshadow, and when I come back, we'll dive straight into the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 eyeshadow palette. Alright, so I went ahead and I zoomed you guys in, and now that my eyes are ready to go for the eyeshadow, I didn't set the base at all. I wanted it to be nice and sticky so that whatever eyeshadows I put on will stick a lot better. I will first be going into Lolly Mama, and I will be using my small Morphe brush, and I will be placing it above my crease. I will now be jumping into Tipsy Girl. I'm going to be taking Tipsy Girl and I'm just going to be applying it a little bit above the color that we just laid down. I will now be taking Stay True, so I'm going to be placing that underneath everything else in that same kind of cut crease motion, and we will be cutting the crease later. Okay, so now that those three colors have been laid down, I think that's as dark as I want to go in my crease area. I'm going to be setting my brow bone with the color Certified, just to make sure that it is nice and bright, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend all of the colors that I already have laid down. All right, so off the bat, I'm already kind of on the struggle bus and I'm very, very worried about this palette. The Stay True shade, the really dark purple that you're seeing, I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see how the shade looks lighter in the center and then it's like darker on the outside of it. I've had a couple of eyeshadows do this to me before. I know that it's getting a little bit patchy probably because it's not gripping properly to the base, but overall they blend really nice so far, but I will give you more of my thoughts toward the end. I just kind of wanted to update you throughout the process of what I'm seeing and what's going on. So now that I have all of this laid down, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the crease all the way so it is nice and sharp. I'm starting to look a little bit like a drag queen and I'm all for it. So now that I have the crease completely cut, I'm now going to start focusing on the eyeshadows on the lid. So I'm going to start from the outer corner and then work my way in. I'm going to jump back in to Stay True, and I'm just going to be placing this right on the outer corner, but I'm going to leave a significant amount of space in this crease area. I'm now going to be jumping into Dance Party, and I'm going to be placing that right next to Stay True. And this one, I'm going to go up and actually kind of bridge that gap. Okay, so now that we are looking a little bit ridiculous, I promise everything will come together toward the end. I'm going to go back into Tipsy Girl, and I'm going to be placing that one more toward the inner corner, but I'm not actually going to hit the inner corner. And lastly, I'm going to be using the shade I'm In It, and I'm going to be placing that one on the inner corner. Alright, so now that I've laid all of the colors down, I'm just going to go back over everything and blend everything together so it doesn't look so harsh. And I don't think I like how much lightness I put on the inner corner, so I'm going to probably blend colors a little bit more toward that inner corner. Alright, so now that I have laid everything down and I've blended it to where I like it, I love the fact that the inner corner highlight is definitely more of an inner corner highlight and not like half of my lid. I think it makes it look so much better. So let's go ahead and address this little gap right here that I left. I'm going to be taking a small, this one is technically a liner brush, and I'm going to be taking a little bit of concealer and I'm just going to be cleaning that up and making it look nice and sharp. Alright, so I cleaned it up and I also set it with the matte white eyeshadow shade in the palette called Certified. So now I'm going to go ahead and do a nice wing liner. And for that, I'm going to be using my Morphe liner in the color Ink. Alright, so that was the struggle bus for real to get my eyeliner on. So I'm going to go ahead and go off camera and do the rest of my foundation and base, and when I come back we will finish up the eye look. Alright, so now that my face is completely done, I'm going to go ahead and do the lower lash line. So basically what I'm going to do is all the colors that I used on the actual eyelid, I will be placing on the lower lash line. Alright, so now that my eyeshadow is completely done, I'm gonna go off camera again and I'm going to do my mascara, lashes, and lipstick, and when I come back it will be the final look. Alright you guys, so this is the final look. I am so happy with it. And for those of you who are curious, what I'm wearing on my lips today is the Sephora Collection lipstick. They're stick lipsticks. This one is in the shade 12. I'm not sure if this one is still available. So I first put this all over my lips, but then I felt like it was too vibrant, a little too much. This whole look is a lot. I don't know. So I decided to pull out one of my very old Kat Von D liquid lipsticks in the color Bauhaus. This one is more of like a deeper plummy magenta shade, whereas the Sephora Collection one has a little bit more of a vibrancy to it. It's a little bit brighter. This one is a little bit deeper, so I just put this one on the outer corners, just enough to where it kind of shaped my lips a little bit more. Alright, so let's just go ahead and get into my final thoughts about this palette. So like I said in the beginning, I am not a humongous fan of palettes that are white like this. I just don't think it's very practical. It looks great, don't get me wrong. It looks beautiful, it looks very clean, very sleek. It feels a lot better than the other packaging from her first go around with Morphe. However, I feel like if you are a working makeup artist, it just gets dirty and then you can clean it often, but over time it's going to stain and it's going to look horrible. That's just my personal preference on white packaging. I personally don't do it. However, if the eyeshadows speak for itself, I'm still going to use the palette. Now, as far as the colors that I used on my lid today, which were the ones that are on the bottom couple rows, I love them. I think everything blends really well. I think it's so bold. These colors are very rich and they're very buttery. I am really in love with the color story. I love that it's still versatile. You still have your natural shades, but you also have the warmer shades and the berry shades. Jaclyn Hill is a very warm gal. She loves her warm eyeshadows, so I can see her personality reflected in all of these eyeshadow shades, and I think it's really cool. And I'm very happy that she came out with something that's very colorful. Let's go ahead and score this. 1 being the worst palette I've ever used and I would never recommend, to 10 being one of the best palettes I've used and I would recommend. I will give this one a 9 out of 10. And the reason being is because of the white packaging. If you don't care, then you don't care. And I'm also being a little nitpicky on that one eyeshadow that I had a little bit of an issue with, whether it was my fault or the palette. I need to play around with it a little more, but that's why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I would still highly recommend all of you guys to purchase this palette. With all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you guys loved this review and love this look. I personally love this look and I'm very excited to wear it out this evening. Please make sure to like this video if you like the video and comment down below on looks you would like to see me do or products you would like to see me review. And please make sure to subscribe as well. All of this really does help my channel a lot and it really does help my channel grow. So I will see you all on the next one. Bye!